What is good, all of our listeners and viewers? Welcome back to another episode of Games and Groceries. My name is Adam.
And I'm Liz.
And Merry Christmas to you all, and to all a good night. We're here with episode 129, where we're going to be talking about how to build a game community with our special guest, Mai Queti. But first, we've got some segments for you. Yes, we do. All right, we're here. It's Christmas week.
It is.
Wow, that's cool.
So exciting.
Yay.
I wish I could wear my Santa hat. But
Yeah,
it wouldn't fit under.
It wouldn't fit under the headphones, no. Up on the rooftop, click, click, click. Down goes St. Nick, broke his back.
No.
But yes, we have Mai Queti here on the show, but we've got some segments for you. And if you just want to skip ahead to Mai Queti, we have timestamps linked in the description or wherever you're listening to. We have timestamps available for you if you wanted to just jump forward to a certain segment, because it is the American podcast. Do with it what you want. Okay, here we go. But I think we should just jump into the show. What do you think?
I agree.
It's cool. Yeah, let's do it. But if you want to hear us blabble on some more, we've got another podcast called What's the Biz? It's a podcast where we just talk about anything. It's me and Liz, maybe sometimes a guest, very rarely. It's in the description down below. You can find a link, but it's an audio-only podcast. So if you want to check that out, go for it. Other news, we are in the planning stages. I think it's ready to say it. Second channel. We will probably explain that more in the next week or so. But we are in talks with it. We want to start it off right. So be on the lookout for that. Follow us on social media. So let's just get into that. Follow us on social media on Twitter at Gaming Groceries, or you can follow us individually. I'm at Ace the Grocer.
And I'm at Journey First.
Or you can follow us on Instagram, Games and Groceries, all one word, where you can see behind the scenes photos or just little memes here and there, or some questions that I will ask you about the discussion. Wow. You follow us on Twitter, Instagram, even Facebook. I will ask you a question involving the discussion that we will be talking about on the show, and I will read your comments on the show. And we also have a website, gamesgroceries.com, where you can listen to all the podcasts from the website, as well. You can find out where you can listen to the audio versions of the podcast, as well as some articles I've written in the past. And if you're new here to the channel, hi, how you doing? You're doing good. Wow, cool. Subscribe to the channel if you like podcasts just like these. If you're into video game discussions, this is the place to be on the Games and Groceries podcast YouTube channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when all these podcasts come out. Mm-hmm. And if you're on listening versions of this, be sure to leave us a review over on Podchaser. Link is down in the description down below. It helps us out a lot. All right, cool. Great. All right, let's just do it. Let's just go into it. Let's just go into our first segment.
Movie Minutes.
Movie Minutes is a segment that we talk about the movies that we watched in the past week, whether it be on Netflix, Hulu, or HBO Max, and we like to recommend it or not recommend it. This month on the Games Groceries podcast for Movie Minutes, it's Christmas time.
Woo-hoo!
All right, we want to watch some Christmas movies, and we want to give it out of 5 jingles. 1 being The Matrix and 5 being Elf. We're just rating it out of how much jangle Christmas cheer that the movie gives us. And I said, HBO Max, because it's the first movie I ever watched from HBO Max. So this is on HBO Max. We just got it, and it is a lifesaver. Love it so far. But this week's movie is from HBO Max. Well, it's not a Max original. It came out last year. It's called Black Christmas.
Woohoo.
So opening thoughts, go.
I wanted to see this movie when it came out. I remember seeing the trailers and being like, oh my gosh, I have to see this. Because I really love horror movies.
Yes.
And like suspense and everything like that. So I was very excited to see this. Definitely not Christmassy.
Yeah.
More Halloween movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little disappointing in that respect, but I mean, when you're watching the trailer, you probably can collect that.
Yeah, true. And that's the thing I want to get into is that this movie builds up a great amount of tension and suspense in a unique kind of way because it is set during Christmas. And it gives that kind of Christmas cheer. You know, you have the lights, you have the Christmas parties, you have little Christmas jingles right there. But it's also the suspense where it's also setting up the whole mentality, and I'm going quotes here, air quote, women are weaker than men kind of mentality that, you know, this is a man's world.
Yeah.
Women are weak, and it kind of builds that tension up. You want to be this happiness cheer, but this man is following women and telling them that they're weak. So it's just like a unique kind of tension that it gives you. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely not your regular run-of-the-mill like slasher.
Yeah.
That it's like actually one of the few that I've seen recently that is really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this movie.
I definitely enjoyed it, yeah.
Yeah, like if we weren't rating it on a Christmas scale, this would have gotten a very high mark for me.
Oh, okay.
Not a perfect.
No, not a perfect. Not
but
at
definitely higher mark. Like I really enjoyed this movie. I would definitely watch it again.
Yeah, the everything that happened in the movie is definitely predictable, but I still enjoyed myself. Even when I predicted it, I went like I gasped a little bit. I was like, oh, that's gonna I knew that was gonna happen, but it just kind of
like still happens out of nowhere. Like they just time it very well.
It still had that punch, even though you knew exactly what was coming.
Yes.
My second note, though, because it was set on Christmas, when we're talking about unique ways it builds tension, it also gave a pretty good way of lighting a tense scene because it only had the Christmas string lights on. So it had this natural glow that you knew where it was coming from. It's coming from the Christmas lights, not just, oh, there's a light bulb out. It was only the string lights in a certain scene, and it gave the tension really good lighting, in my opinion. And that's what I mean. It felt more natural why it was like this, and it kind of gave you this weird ease that it's like, oh, it's Christmas lights, but oh no, we could die.
But people are dying.
Yeah, but my last note before we end our thoughts on here is that I think you can agree with this because that we talked about this is that you get to the end of the movie and it is called Black Christmas and it is based around Christmas, but the movie has a very on the nose message about men being toxic masculinity and women need to be empowered in this. There is a very clear on the nose message, which it needs to be on the nose.
Yeah,
but I couldn't help but complain. It's just like this had really a lot to do with Christmas.
Yeah, it just happened to be based around Christmas. Like not even the reason for the killings had anything to do with Christmas.
I really wish it had something to do with Christmas, the killings, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I think this came out during Christmas.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was their driving reason to have Christmas in it, is that like, well, if we're going to release it around Christmas, why don't we make it based around Christmas? It's like, what?
Yeah, it's not like Krampus where there's like...
I really want to see that.
Yeah, but this one, it was based around Christmas and... I don't know. It was still a great movie, and I think the message about toxic masculinity was definitely well portrayed.
Oh yes, definitely.
But it just didn't give me a lot of jingles. But we'll talk about that right now. So, out of 5 jingles, how many jingles did it give you?
I gave it a 3.
A 3,
which isn't quite an accurate depiction.
Yeah,
because it's like you said, it's not Christmassy really at all. Like if I was basing this solely on how much Christmas spirit it gave me, it'd get a 1.
Yeah.
But it was such a good movie, and I gave Christmas Break-In a 2.
True. Yeah.
So I can't give this a 1.
You can't.
So this got a 3 just because it's such a good movie, and it doesn't matter what time of year. This having the word Christmas in it gives me an excuse to watch it during Christmas.
Yeah.
Which gives it a 3. But it was such a good movie, and I really liked it. So 3.
I also give it a 3 because if we're going to give Die Hard a 3, you know what I mean? If we're going to give Die Hard a 3 or 4 for being around Christmas, it pretty much has the same excuse.
Yeah.
It's a good slasher film that you can watch during Christmas time.
Yeah.
It didn't give you the same kind of Christmas vibes as Elf does or the Santa Claus, but at the same time,
it gives those people who really love slashers and really love Halloween a Christmas movie to watch.
Exactly. So I definitely enjoyed this movie. I think it was great. But if I had to say, like, is it very Christmassy? It's based around Christmas. It's got its vibes, but I definitely recommend it though.
Yes, definitely.
If we were giving this on our regular scale, I probably would give it a solid.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So, but again, this is called Black Christmas. It's found on HBO Max. I definitely recommend HBO Max. We just got the deal that you get 6 months for $70, which is 20% off. Instead of renewing my Disney Plus account, which we didn't, we put that $70 towards HBO Max, and I don't regret it at all because it's so good.
Yeah.
But so if you have HBO Max, definitely check out Black Christmas. You can probably still rent it at Amazon Prime Video. But yeah, those are our thoughts on Black Christmas. So what do you think we go into our next segment?
Okay.
Cool. Let's just do it. Let's just go into it with our second segment.
Top 3 Gaming News.
The top 3 gaming news is the gaming news that we saw in the past week, and we like to rank it 3, 2, 1, just to give you a condensed version of, hey, what's going on in the gaming industry? What's going on?
I don't know. You write it.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
said that
true.
last week.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But this week you might be surprised about some of this gaming news here.
Yeah, I think you only told me one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is news to me too.
It is. And I kind of want to start with the number 3 gaming news because this is technically, literally, old news. It came out last Friday, but now games journalists are now picking up this week. So I used an excuse to say that, like, I forgot to talk about it last week, so I'm going to put it in this week's gaming news.
Okay.
Even though it came out a week ago, it has to do with Vin Diesel. Oh, he's in Arc 2. He's in Arc.
Yeah.
Arc 2. Not only is it going to be the lead character in it, he's also going to be the executive producer of it.
Nice.
He's going to be called the president of Creative Convergence.
Okay.
So this news comes out with Studio Wildcard. That's what they're called. Studio Wildcard coming out to say that Vin Diesel is actually coming onto the project as the executive producer. He's very excited. And what threw me for a loop at first, before I actually thought about Vin Diesel's history, they said that, yeah, he understands the game. You know, he's put thousands of hours into Arc. He really gets Arc. So he'll be your executive producer. Huh? It's like, oh yeah, I put thousands of hours into the game. So executive producer, please. So in that case, I will then be the executive producer of Tony Hawk's Underground. So that because I've put thousands of hours into Tony Hawk. So what do you think of that? Can I be the executive producer?
I don't think so.
I think I could. But here's the funny part is that well, let me read this quote, and then I'm going to go into Vin Diesel's history a little bit and why this actually makes sense. So this is from a quote from the article linked down below. All the articles are linked down below. Diesel said in a statement that he is excited to join Studio Wildcard team to develop the story both in-game and in a new animated series. Studio Wildcard CEO Doug Kenny also added that Diesel has played thousands of hours of Ark Survival Evolved and understands the game intimately, which explains last week's surprise trailer appearance. So, again, he's joined, he's put thousands of hours in, so he gets it. He gets it. Come on. Threw me for a loop until I read another article, which Stan pointed out, I completely forgot about this. He once was, I don't know if he owned it, but he was definitely a big part in a game studio called Tygon Studios, which made a couple of the Chronicle Riddick games, which also he starred in. So he actually has had his hand in video games for a good while because Tygon Studios was like early 2000s. Yeah. I'm not sure if it still exists today, but it's not like this guy just said, I like Ark.
Yeah.
I am Groot, so I will produce. And it explains it a little bit better.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I think it's really cool. I don't think I was as shocked as you to hear he was executive producer. It's not like they're like, He could be it. Like, it's not like he pulled some random guy off the street like you, who played 1,000 hours of a video game. Like, yeah, you can do it.
You can do it.
No, he's a professional. He's an actor. He's been in the entertainment world. He knows.
And he's been in the video game industry, apparently.
And he's been in the video game industry, which I didn't even know.
I forgot about it until, because I think I knew that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it didn't really surprise me that they did that, because it's like, he's not just a random actor who got a role in a video game. He's an actor who has experience, has played the series.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean, where it's like, it's not surprising that he's a big actor who knows the industry and he knows the series. So it makes sense.
Exactly. So good for Vin Diesel. I think that's a perfect role for you. So I'm jealous of you, but you know what? You've played thousands of hours in Ark, so
oh goodness gracious!
How can I even compete? I've only played a minute of Ark. So that moves on to our number 2 gaming news. It's about the Scalpers. Oh God, no, not the Scalpers, not the PS5, Xbox Series X Scalpers.
Oh.
And you know what?
What?
The UK government says no, thank you, Scalpers. That's what they said. They actually went out into Parliament and they said no, thank you. And
seriously?
That's how they saved the day. Yeah. They said no, thank you. Okay, number 1 gaming news. No. Basically, what the UK government said was that they're going to be protecting consumers and pretty much creating laws against specifically game console scalpers.
Random, but okay.
Well, yeah, this is a good thing, because just this year, I wrote down the number here, but scalpers have made $28 million.
I didn't know that you could scalp video game consoles.
I mean, you can scalp anything.
I don't understand all that.
You can
stuff.
scalp mattresses if you want to. But yeah, basically what these scalpers do is that they create bots. And what these bots do is that they go onto different retail websites, including Walmart, Best Buy, anything that you can buy these systems on. And as soon as they put them in stock, it's going right to them. And so they resell them on eBay for sometimes triple the price, double, triple the price. And so it's bananas. And so this is really disheartening for consumers, and big gamers. And not only that, but kids, who are trying to ask for the system for Christmas. The parents can't afford $500. They can't necessarily afford $1,500 for a system. You know?
I got you. I understand now.
So that's what these scalpers are doing. And let me read this article quote. Again, all these are linked down below if you want to give them a read for yourself. The motion states, new releases of game consoles and computer components should be available to all consumers at no more than the manufacturer's recommended retail price, and not being bought in bulk by the use of automated bots, which often circumvent maximum purchase quantities imposed by the retailer.
That word says customers.
What did I say?
Consumers.
Well, you know what? You are all consumers. You are all sheeple. So basically, the UK government is stepping in and saying, okay, we've had enough of this. You've got to stop, because the amount of scalping, again, $28 million was made.
Yeah.
$28 million by these scalpers.
No, that's a ton.
That's a lot of moolah.
That is. I wish I had that much moolah.
Now, the scalpers have come out and said that, you know what, we're just like you're putting food on the table. We ourselves are putting food on the table. Why don't you feel bad about us? I'm like, no. like, okay, I can say, like, come on, man. I'm just robbing banks to put money on the table. I'm just mugging people on the street because I'm putting food on the table. No, absolutely not. You're actually just ripping people off. And I know people personally, a couple of them, I'll tell you off camera, because you know them too, that use this kind of tactic into saying that, oh, no, I'm just doing this really crappy thing to people just to put food on my table. I'm just a poor young buck trying to feed little Timmy his frozen peas.
Goodness gracious.
Absolutely not. I don't accept that. But the UK government is also calling bullcrap on that, and so they're actually stepping in and creating laws against this.
That's awesome.
I recommend reading the article linked down below. There's more to this than that, but they're stepping in and saying absolutely not. And I'm glad this is going to help future. This is going to help future game console launches in the 7 years, I guess.
Yeah.
But what do you think of that?
No, I mean, I think it's great. Good for the UK.
Yep, good for the UK.
Good job, guys.
You know, bless the Queen or whatever you guys say.
God save the Queen.
God save the Queen. Cross the pond and fish and chips.
I've been watching a lot of The Crown, so I know things.
I am a big fan of Everton, so I know things about England too. Chip away, top class, top shelf. No. So if you're from the UK, will you accept me in your country? Write your thoughts in the comments down below. I think it's time to move on to our number one gaming news.
Yeah.
I think it's time. I think it's...
Oh, no.
So, Cyberpunk 2077 was pulled. It was pulled from the PlayStation Store. Oh,
I mean, if anyone thought we
God.
weren't going to talk about this, you're just silly.
It was pulled. It was taken off of the PlayStation Store.
That's bad.
It was taken off of the PlayStation Store.
You're not on camera anymore. There you go.
It was taken off of PlayStation.
Why didn't we talk about you taking your mic off the table?
Not
You're
even
gonna break
Xbox.
it. This is why we had to replace your wire.
PlayStation has the worst customer service in the history of gaming, and PlayStation took it off the store.
Bad. Good reasoning.
Oh my God. Anthem bricked PS4s.
Yeah,
it
that was bad.
destroyed them. And PlayStation's is like, screw you guys. You're still buying Anthem. Cyberpunk is taken off. Holy crap.
Different time.
PlayStation.
I don't know. I don't know whose side I'm supposed to be on in this conversation.
Okay, so you've been in the gaming space. You've heard the videos. You've seen these articles. I just need to talk about the updates to this story. So if you don't know, Cyberpunk, buggy mess. But every game is a buggy mess at launch. But some people were saying it was unplayable. They're asking for a refund. CD Projekt Red said, go to PlayStation. They'll give a refund. PlayStation's like, no, because we hate our customers. So that was that. And so then there was epilepsy warnings, and people were like, what's up with that? That's why your boy didn't get it, because I have a history of epilepsy. Hey-oh. And that's the thing. They took it off because they put out a statement saying, we only want quality games over here. We are protecting consumers with this. And so everybody thought that it was PlayStation's call. Now, bringing you back to the update here. Again, I might have just breezed through that, but a lot of different content creators already talked about this. Now, brings us to right now. It was taken off by PlayStation. And I want to read this statement by CD Projekt Red.
Do you want me to read it?
No, I will.
Okay.
Update at 10:30 p.m. as the writing of this article. The Kotaku article is written down below, or linked down below. CD Projekt Red has issued a short statement confirming that the decision to remove the game from Sony's online store was made together. It was a mutual breakup. Come on. With the platform holder. And adding, while that the game has been pulled from the PlayStation Store, gamers can still buy the physical versions in game retail and mail order stores. All copies, whether digital or physical, will continue to receive support from the companies. What the crap?
That is gone forever. That went behind the logs in the fireplace.
You pull it from you yourself said, oh, yeah, no. We talked to PlayStation about pulling it off, but you can still buy the PlayStation version at retail stores.
Now, is Cyberpunk available on Xbox?
Yes.
But they're keeping it on the Xbox.
Yes.
That makes zero sense.
That makes 0 sense. And they updated again before recording this episode saying, CD Projekt Red has intentions to let you refund even the physical versions. Why? This is so stupid.
We should have just bought it, asked for a refund, and then just had a free game and waited for them to fix it.
What's this?
I don't know.
This is such a stupid story. So,
and yet we're reporting on it.
So let me just recap here. CD Projekt Red put out a buggy mess. That's fine. Games come out buggy messes. Okay, I'm not faulting it. In fact, the last coffee games I talked about that. Things come out buggy. Okay. And then PlayStation comes out and says we took it off the store. And then CD Projekt Red says no, it was just both of us. Mutual breakup. And then they're like, you can still buy retail. You can still buy the physical copy. It might be a game breaking, but it might be terrible. Too terrible for Sony PlayStation's digital store, but you can still buy Sony PlayStation's physical copy. And then...
You just clipped for like the 100th time.
And then they come out and say, we'll offer you refunds for the physical editions. What's wrong with you? So
who knows?
I'm not like upset as a gamer. It's just the dumbest chain of events I've ever witnessed in gaming history. This is so stupid.
Kind of going back to the buggy mess thing where you were saying like, oh no, I can't remember. Was it? You said Destiny?
Anthem. Anthem broke consoles.
Yes. So I think the reason that this is worse is because it's at the end of a horrible, horrible year.
Yeah.
And they've delayed this game so dang much that it's ridiculous with the bugs.
Like, that's the thing.
At the end of just the horrible year.
It's just a ridiculous chain of events.
It is. It's insane.
I can't believe this.
It's like, let's delay it months. Release it horribly. Remove it from the store. Mutually. Which
not
also,
Xbox,
they could have just thrown PlayStation under the bus. But they're like, no. I had something to do with this too. Like, why would you want that kind of attention? Anyway.
So stupid.
We did it too. But it's so weird.
I hope for the best for CD Projekt Red. I really do, because they're a good company. They were a good company, and now it's just
this year, just like.
And now they
dragged their own name through the dirt.
They're facing hostile staff members now. The staff members are hostile towards them.
That's pretty bad. This
is just so bizarre of a game. This will go on for gaming history. This will go on for gaming historians, much like the E.T. Into the Fire. Mm-hmm. This will go on for gaming history and historians. This will be in museums. This is just amazing. But enough of me ranting. We got to bring on our guest.
Yeah.
You're here for the guest. You're here for the discussion. Mm-hmm. You're here for the great talking. Not just Cyberpunks.
Not this great talking.
Not this great talking. It's so bizarre. I didn't think I would be this energetic, but just for capping it is just ridiculous. Let's just bring her on.
Yeah.
So My Queti has been on our show for the Tell Me Why episodes. If you haven't yet, definitely go check those out. We discussed. She was on for episode 3, talking about Tell Me Why episode 3, the conclusion to it. So we want to bring her on for a normal episode of Games and Groceries. Mm-hmm. We want to discuss with her. She's built her own gaming community with the Life is Strange community. You can go check that out. We'll have links for her in the description down below. But stop talking, Adam. We got to bring her on. Let's do it. Let's bring on our guest for the final segment, My Queti.
Woohoo!
Alright, everybody, we are back with our special guest, the legend, the creator, the ultimate Life is Strange fan. Oh, she's so awesome! It's My Queti. My, you're back. How you doing?
I am back.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be so soon, but here I am.
I know. I banned you for like 5 years, but you made it through the trials, so you're back on the show.
It feels like it was so long ago, though.
Doesn't it?
And it was just a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was...
September.
It was September? Wait, how long ago was September? It's like...
Well, it's a week from Christmas.
Oh, that's true.
So September was 4 months ago.
Yeah, how about that 2020, Mai? How was that?
time in 2020 has been quantic. I
Yeah.
have no idea what day it is, what
Mhm.
time it
Mhm.
is, what time zone I am in.
I know.
Yeah.
It has been insane. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
I don't know.
time zones are terrible. We were just talking off of camera because usually you're an hour ahead, but now because of time zones and the whole time changes, except for Arizona, now you're 2 hours ahead of us. And
So we just need to move to Arizona.
we do need to move to Arizona. That is true.
I don't want to move to Arizona.
We don't want
Don't
to move to
simplify
Arizona.
things.
What's that?
I don't like the heat.
Yeah, but Mai, you're here. You're going to be talking about building game communities, right?
Mhm.
And to start this discussion, I want to talk about your resume, specifically your work resume. Now, when you put down your first work reference, what do you? No, I'm just kidding. So I want to. I want to talk about why I wanted to bring you on, not because you're a fantastic guest, and that's not a lie at all. You can take me to court, but
You're so strange.
what life is strange. Thank you, but I want you, Mai, to describe your gaming community around Life is Strange. How did you start it? What are you doing to be involved in it? Take us through your own game community. So take it away, Mai.
At first, I wasn't involved. Like, I came after. Like, I jumped into the wagon once
Yeah.
the game ended. Like, what I do now is that Chris, that's the mastermind behind everything,
Mm-hmm.
he played the first episode, and then he's like, okay, this game is special. I want to build something for it. I want to bring people together. So he started developing a website that it took like a year to be done. And he had no programming background. So he started to like just try to make it work. Eventually, all the episodes went out and people were like desperately looking for a place to talk about it because, the ending is kind of like mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And infuriating and sad, and everyone was really experiencing what we call post-Life is Strange depression. So Chris launched the site, and eventually, I think it was in February, he shared a trailer he made for the site to Toby, that was the community manager of the official Life is Strange channels back then.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, this is great. This is cool. Thank you for sharing. And that was it until suddenly Toby had the brilliant idea of sharing the website on the official channels.
Oh, wow.
And it blew up. The site blew up. The servers collapsed. People tried to log in. Like, it was a mess.
Yeah.
No one could even log in or create an account or anything because no one expected that. It was just a small website. And that's when I come in. And like, okay, this is great. What you're doing is awesome. How can I help?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I jumped into it. And the main difference or the innovation in a way, because we are talking about 2016, Discord wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
If people wanted to like talk about games and stuff, they would go to Reddit or forums. And Chris built a website that had a live chat embedded. So you could go in and talk real time with people that just finished the game. So people were nuts about it. And eventually the chat was like full of people talking at the same time. There was no moderators. Like, it was a mess because no one expected that amount of people just joining in and trying to connect with others. And eventually I'm like, okay, let me moderate. Let me help you because you're going nuts.
Yeah.
This is breaking your mind as much as it's breaking the internet. So I'm going to jump in and help you. And eventually the community kept growing and growing and growing. And I got so involved and invested so much of my time that I ended up being co-admin of the site and the chat and everything. And we were like a team and gathered some people that were also very invested, and they became our mods. And that's basically how we started to grow after that. was pretty insane.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that you brought a lot of Life is Strange fans together to have a place to communicate. Communicate.
There you go.
I put together congregate and communicate all in the same.
It became community.
Yeah,
That's what it sounded like you said.
Hey, cool. It was a lucky guess, but yeah, no,
It worked.
It does work.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how I get through life. It worked.
It happened.
It happened. And that's what I love about it is that you brought together all these people who, like you said before, they were in kind of a post Life is Strange kind of depression, and you came in to moderate all of that community going into one place, right? Let me ask you something. So this is again, pulling back the curtains. Usually, I give my guests all the questions beforehand, but sometimes I got a little out of my sleeve here, off the cuff, if you will, because it's the cuff.
You're lucky. You're adorable.
Thank you. Why do you think that the Life is Strange community congregated?
There you go.
Congregated to this one site. Why not separate into little communities here? And I think you kind of answered that with, that the actual Life is Strange brand put it onto their channel so they knew what website to go to. But what made this website specifically? Do you think it was the way it was made or just the people who were going into it? What are your thoughts?
I do believe that it was the only place at the time that you could talk real time that wasn't Twitter or Facebook. Like when you come into the site, you expected something like the regular fun website you can find anywhere. And then suddenly you see there's something called public chat. It's like, okay, what is this? And suddenly you have all these people freaking out, like real time, and you can communicate with them and make friends and interact with others. Like it was a constant exchange of theories, and people went crazy over it. So
yeah,
people started to tell their friends, like, hey, this website has a live chat. You can talk to people in real time about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for, I don't know, a post to be like answered on social media or the forums that it's not immediate. People needed that to be like, right now, I need answers. I need someone to debate this with. So I think that's what made it different. Then, of course, Discord came in and that happened, right? But at the time, it was the only thing that made it stand out, I think.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it was one of the only places, and you jumped to that. You made your own kind of Discord site, and I think that's exactly it. It was the only place to go to, and I think you also evolved over time too, because like you said, now there's Discord, but you have your own Discord community there. That kind of brings me to my next question here. You, along with Chris, you're co-admins of this site, and you also have a Discord, which, by the way, I will leave a link to the Discord in the description down below. What I love the most about your Discord, that I wish I was more active on, I'm just not active on Discord. I feel so bad because I see it. I'm basically lurking, and I'm like, oh, that's nice, and I never respond. But there is a place called the Kate Support Club. And you put that in for, and you talked about this the last time you were on the episode, where people can go in and talk about their issues, and it's all about Kate, who is named after Kate Marsh, who was suicidal in the first Life is Strange game, and it's a place to support each other. So my question to you is that, for you, almost being the lead, the co-lead, if you will, do you think it's a lot to handle? Right. But like I said, there's this Discord where they're supporting each other. Do you think it's a lot for you to be the lead of a community, or does the community kind of lead itself? Like, how do you feel about that?
I think it depends on many factors, especially now it's quiet, it's easier to manage. Like it doesn't really take much of my time nowadays because there hasn't been any announcements. There hasn't been new games. Community kind of like had the hype at the moment, went crazy about it, and then left because that's what happens. People move on. And the first game, it's like 5 years old.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, or when the hype was still very present, people was like obsessed over this game. It was really hard to manage.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare. And we started to like grew and grew and grew, and it grew so much that we didn't expect that. And we started to get ideas to improve it or add more to it because it was contagious. People wanted content, people wanted more. And we started to like take a lot of our own time to figure out like, okay, how can we improve this, or how can we make it more inclusive, or how could it be more creative? Let's start contests, for example. We started making contests, and that involved a lot of planning and a lot of like, I was putting my art for it for promotion as examples, because many of our contests were creative. And I remember that I was working on the art for one of the contests, and it was 4 a.m.
Oh my
on a
God.
Thursday night. And I was struggling to finish this piece because we had to launch the contest on Friday.
Oh my God.
And it was 4 a.m., me struggling to finish. And like, oh my God, I painted everything on the wrong layer.
Oh my God. No.
I made a huge mistake, and I'm going to regret it the rest of the night, I am sure. And like, that was the kind of time we were investing back then. Like, we were talking constantly how to improve it, bringing in new ideas. And one of these ideas was Kate support group, because a lot of people felt they related to these characters because of their issues, because they are human, right?
Yeah.
So we started to talk a bit more about the issues we had, because everyone has issues. Every single person in the world has at least one issue. I mean,
yeah.
that's how it works. We're human, and we have to deal with that. And eventually, we started to talk to people about it, and the conversation grew deeper and deeper and deeper. Eventually, we were like actually helping people, and people in the communities, by definition, because of the game and the themes involved, they are very helpful. They want to help others. It's something that the community, specifically this community, is very known for in a way. So eventually we came out with like, okay, let's make a Kate support group in honor of Kate. And we had people that were like putting time from their own free time. And sometimes not even that. I remember being at work and being active, trying to help. We created the club, and we had counselors in a way, like people that was there just to listen to you.
Yeah.
Like, okay, come talk to me if you need to vent, if you need to rant, whatever. But we always try to be clear, like, none of us are professionals. We're just offering a shoulder and an ear if you need it. And of course, it's something we can't handle because it's more than just listening to you. Please reach for a professional help always, because we are not, counselors, real counselors. So eventually that happened. We had a lot of people coming in to help, and we were putting a lot of our time to it too. And the community kind of took that as an example, and they started to help each other instead of just one of us solo handling everything.
Yeah.
And eventually the club ended up being people just helping each other without us. Which is great to see, and at the same time, oh my God, I need a break.
Yeah. Oh no!
Bless you.
I'm sorry. I tried to hold in that sneeze. Like you were talking so emotional. I was like, "Don't sneeze, please, God, Adam, don't sneeze."
Don't ruin the moment, Adam. Come on.
Well, it's just me being me.
It's okay.
But no, and I like what you're saying here. Is that it is a lot of work to just build the community, but it seems as if you're trying to build a community to help each other rather than, for lack of a better term, seeing you as a god. You want to be seen as a moderator, somebody to build up this community and to start it, rev up the engines. But ultimately, humans need to help humans, right? And I don't think you want to be, just speaking to you just a little bit, I still remember, asking you the first time to come on to tell me why. I get the feeling that you're a lot like me and you don't even want to be seen as somebody with a high ego at all, which is not a bad thing at all. But yeah, I see you as more of a person who wants to help people and guide them, but not be seen as the ultimate person that needs the credit. Am I right there?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
At first I remember I was moderating and I was trying to help people and it wasn't even my real name on the chat. I was posing as Chloe Price.
Yeah.
No one even knew my name. My username was Chloe Price. No one knew who I was.
Yeah.
And I kept it that way for several months because I really didn't want to be, hey, I am part of this community. I am really good. No, I'm just another human that it's really tired of toxicity out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot. It's a lot of it. It's a lot of negativity. It drains you, man. It really does. And the internet is full of it. So we wanted a place we could go that we could feel safe and interact with people that needed that space too, because finding it online is really hard. And if we could provide that for others, someone could come in the chat and say they had a problem, a personal issue or whatever they were dealing with, and no one was going to even dare bully anyone here. At some point, I was actually seen as the bad cop because I had zero tolerance with that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure the place we were creating was safe for me and for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think people ended up staying and forming friendships, and they keep coming back because everywhere else was on fire.
Yeah. Oh yeah, especially this year, like you said,
Oh, don't go there. Just don't go there. Twitter needs to be banned.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, yeah. I just saw on Twitter, it was on GPD retweeted it, and it was an anti-mask group going through a Walmart. I think it was in Arizona because some of them had the Arizona cape on. And I was help. It's a lot of fun living in America during these times. But before we get into our community social media answers, I want to ask you one thing before we go into that. Now I want to ask, and I guess this is all in the table here. Me, you, TV Queti.
TV Queti.
Do we think that it's the fans' job to create these kinds of communities, the way Mai is putting it out there? Do you think it's the fans' job, or do you think it's the developers or the people who are involved with the game's responsibility to do that? What are all our thoughts here? Liz, what do you think? You've been awful quiet.
Well, I haven't had to say anything. You've been asking her questions. What am I going to do?
I don't know.
But I don't think it's anyone's job per se to do anything. I think if you feel strongly about a certain subject, like a game or a book or something, and you want a community, and kind of going off of what you always say, that if you're interested in it, someone else is interested in it.
Yes.
You're not the only one. So I don't feel like it's anyone's specific job, but I think if you're interested and you want something like that, then you should make it, because there's gonna be other people out there who also want something like that and are looking for something like that. But I don't think it's the developer's responsibility. They fulfill their responsibility by putting those real subjects in their game. Yeah. That's, in my opinion, that's where their responsibility ends. If they wanted to do something like that, like a group or something, that would be that's amazing for them. Yeah. It was even amazing that they added this one as their official one. Yeah. But I wouldn't say I don't think it's anyone's responsibility. I think it's, if you feel strongly about it and that's what you want to do, then you should do it.
Good answers.
Thank you.
Good answers all
I
around.
try. When I speak, it means something.
Yeah, I know. TV Teddy, please knock her down a notch and just.
Oh yeah, because I'm the one out of the two of us that needs to be knocked down a notch.
Mike, what do you think? What do you think about this? Do you think it's the fans' responsibility, or do you think it's developers?
I think it's a shared responsibility. I don't call it a responsibility, actually. I don't know. In terms of promoting your product and getting people to play your game and getting people to get invested in stuff, the developers have to have a policy on that. They have to keep creating content, even if it's just random posts on social media, to remind the people that the game exists, right? Because let's be fair, it's all marketing. They need to sell their games, so they keep doing games.
Yeah.
But they also have the responsibility to just randomly tweet about it, let you know when there's something, an update or whatever. But the most of the work is going to be the fans because they are passionate about it.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of examples of different communities, not specifically Life is Strange, but big companies like BioWare. You have Mass Effect and Dragon Age that have massive fandoms.
Yes.
People love those games, myself included.
Yeah.
And they created these special days, like N7 Day, Dragon Age Day, and even I think Naughty Dog also has a The Last of Us Day.
Yes.
It's a date the fans specifically wait for, not because it's a big event every year, but there's always a chance that they drop something new on that specific date. So
True.
people started to create the event themselves without BioWare's intervention or without Naughty Dog's intervention, because they gave the community something to be hyped about and be hopeful for.
Okay.
So people went out of their way to create these massive events, live streaming on Twitch for 12 hours with guests and getting the developers involved to answer the questions, engaging with the community. And that's not the company. They just said, N7 Day is the Mass Effect Day, and that was it.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Because, of course, fans will put all the work there. And I think the company should acknowledge that it doesn't require much of their time either. It's just promoting their product regularly, as everyone does, and let the fans do their thing.
Yeah.
I think it works pretty well.
I agree with everyone at this table. But no, I do think that's like what you said. I think when fans have this kind of passion, they should just start it. But I like your answers as well, Mai, who, when you said that it's both where, you want the marketing to be there so that the fan communities have something to be hopeful for. And I think it's kind of like that shared route of responsibility. Where, yes, I think if the developers started their own communities the way the fans do it, it would feel like a marketing tech. It would feel more like a what do you call it? A focus group almost.
Yeah.
It would feel like, hey guys, what do you think about this? It would feel more like a focus group rather than something what Mai and Chris are doing with the Life is Strange community, where it's just building each other up. I think it's a little bit of both, like what Mai said. And I can't beat that answer. It's just too much. I'm overwhelmed with knowledge at this point. Now I do want to jump into our own community with something that we call social media answers. So hey, clap. There we go.
I can feel the cringe from here. She's suffering.
Man, you know what, you're banned for another 5 years. Maybe you'll face the trials again, and you can go back on. But
so in 4 months.
Hey now, but it has been 4 months, man. Oh my goodness,
It's been 3.
I don't know what month it is anymore. I'm scared. Anyways, So I asked you on our social media pages, Twitter at Gaming Groceries and Instagram, Games Groceries, all one word, and also Facebook. You can find us on Facebook. I guess that's a thing. And I asked you guys, why do you feel that video game communities / groups are important?
Mm-hmm.
So first we go on Twitter, which we have the answer from at Commander Nikki, a gem for podcasters, who says, because first of all, it helps finding like-minded people to befriend and to have somebody to discuss things with, especially impactful games and stories. And I like that, like-minded people to befriend. And what I appreciate about your guys' community, it really brings together people of like-mindedness, but also it brings about a kind of mentality of befriending each other to manage each other, to help each other. And I like what you guys are doing with the Life is Strange community with that. And I think that's where she finds it important, like-minded people to befriend. But do we feel like all communities have to start with impactful game stories? She said especially, it's not like only, but do you think we can find something without impactful stories? What do we all think about that?
I mean, I don't think it needs to be an impactful game story. I think you just need to really love whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, if someone really loves Call of Duty, go ahead, go make a fan page.
Now, are you saying
build
that
a community?
Are you saying that Call of Duty is not impactful?
I don't know anything about Call of Duty. It's just what I could think of.
Fair.
But you know what I mean? Where it's like, or even Rocket League.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's got no story, as far as I know.
I guess so.
Still know nothing about that either.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Where it's just like, it doesn't matter what it's about or what it is. If there's a community, like a big community of people who love it, why not have a fan page or a community to talk, like just commune together and talk about that thing you love.
True. Mai, what do you think? Do you think it helps to have an impactful story, or do you think you can make communities from anything and still befriend other people? What do you think?
I do think you can do a community about pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Like, we are, I don't know how many billions in this planet. You will find someone that likes the same thing you do.
Yeah.
And if you actually like something, you have to go out of your way and go make it if you want to, bring something to the table. And it doesn't really need to be impactful. I do think that it's a different kind of community. That's a different story. When it's something so casual, like, for example, Rocket League, Call of Duty, I don't know, Fall Guys, Among Us, whatever you want, usually it's a casual thing. You talk about random stuff, you play a few games, and you have people to play these games with, because usually there are multiplayers and stuff. There's no deeper discussion unless you actually like someone in the community. Hey, we played a few games together. We can be friends because we think alike. It's different when the community wants to debate or theorize or talk about something deeper. It's a different kind of connection that you forge, but both are valid. Like, they are communities anyway, and they require people to be engaged. So I don't think it's more important or better to have a deeper story tied to it, or deeper topics to talk about. Like, it's just different, and everyone is different.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's definitely communities out there just for retro video games. Like, just a genre, like not even a genre, but the history of video games.
I'm on a Facebook group for people who have chiggies.
Oh, yeah, chiggies.
Like, there's a whole Facebook page for people who have chiggies, just to talk about their chiggies. That's it. That's all we do.
Chiggy is the...
we share pictures of cute dogs. That's it.
It's a breed of dog. If you don't know what a chiggy is, it's not a house plant.
It is what Floki is.
Yes.
It's a Chihuahua Corgi mix.
Oh my God.
And it's adorable.
He's got the little Chihuahua legs, but Corgi butt.
Corgi booty.
But I do think that you can really make anything out of anything, you know, including just retro games, which I'm hoping to goodness that we get the LI retro back, but who knows when that happened. So then our other social media answer comes from Instagram from Volt Supreme.
Woohoo!
All right, Volt Supreme. He says, now Volt Supreme, before I say this, to preface, Volts does, he's a composer. He just wrote the composition behind Adam's Ascending, which is a new game that's now in early access. And he also does video game soundtrack covers with synth. So he does his own creation with like synth music, 80s retro.
Yeah.
So to preface that, so Volts says video games, like music, is one of the most common loves / things that allow people who allow people who would not usually get along or find themselves in the same place, a good starting place or a common ground for building friendship. This is a sad example, but I even had someone recently comment on one of my Final Fantasy X remixes and say he didn't like it, but because I liked Final Fantasy X, he wasn't going to trash talk me. What a horrible reason for why you shouldn't troll or trash talk people, but hey, it kind of proves my point in a sad way. And what he's saying is there that whether or not you agree with somebody, it gives you just a common ground at least.
Yeah, you both enjoy this thing.
Yeah, so, you may not like each other or like each other's Final Fantasy X remixes, but at least you won't trash talk each other. So that's nice, I guess. Mai, have you ever been in a situation like that where maybe you're not... You don't strike me as somebody who has serious grudges to people, for the wrong reasons. But have you ever found yourself to not really click with somebody, but then you find that common ground within a community and you're just almost instantly friends? Do you ever find yourself in that way?
Not really. Yeah, I don't hold grudges.
Yeah, you don't strike me.
Either the thing with me is that I either care or I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't have and it happened quite the opposite, in fact, that we had common ground because we both played Life is Strange. And it happened a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about all the drama, because we had a lot of drama.
Yeah.
Building a community is not drama free, I can guarantee you. But we had this common ground, and we could talk about this game that we loved because we enjoyed it, and the topics resonated with us, and that wasn't enough. When you had I don't know how to describe it. This person didn't do anything bad to you. You just simply don't click. There's something off that it's kind of an innate thing. It's not something you control. And when that happens, there's no possible common ground because eventually those core values you don't share, they're going to show up. Yeah. Especially, I think, when we're talking about a game that is so inclusive, LGBT friendly, and the community took it very personally. When someone will trash the game for something like that, it has gay representation, ugh. And there's a lot of people that play Life is Strange that didn't get that subtext because it wasn't explicit. We could have better representation than that, but and they will be, I don't know, they wouldn't like gay people in their game. You're playing Life is Strange. You're not playing Call of Duty. What are you doing here?
Yeah, true.
I love the game, but I don't like that they have gay people in it. I'm like, what?
What a weird thing to be caught up on. Yeah.
That's the whole point. You're seeing it. It's an inclusive game. You have a lot of different characters. And those differences, for it's an example among others, those differences eventually make you clash and provoke drama. And yeah, sure, you can have someone that doesn't entirely share your worldview that you can connect, but there are core values that need to be shared, I think. Unless it's something casual, I'm not playing Rocket League like we were talking before.
Yeah.
But to have an actual friendship with someone, over the internet, personally, like it doesn't matter. You have to share these core values, like, and yeah, you have common ground, and you can get to know the other person, and eventually, if those morals align, if that code aligns, you will be friends, no problem. But when those core values don't, there's no possible common ground, I think.
Yeah, no, I do like that. Where I mean, I don't like that it happened to you. But let's put this on the record. I'm not happy that Mai went through trauma. She is a gem and needs to be treated as such. Now, but I do think that we need to put that into friendships here. That yes, you might have a common ground, but I like to think of it more what Volt said, that it's more of a starting point.
Yeah,
he did say common ground, but it's a starting point where you can start to see where this friendship can go. But really, at the end of it, you need to understand that there's some core values here.
Yeah,
there's a lot of friends that I've ended up cutting off in my life because we started with a common ground, but eventually our core values really just made me say like, maybe not the right person for me to like be around, you know. But you know, I still let Liz live here, so it's fine.
You're such an idiot. I really can't stand you.
But
I let you live here.
Hey, that's true. But no, in all actuality, there are friends that I've just cut off because there was a common ground. But like what you said, you get into the core values. Liz, what are you thinking about this?
Well, this kind of reminded me of like a high school friendship I had. So me and my best friend in high school, we don't talk so much anymore, but when we started being friends in high school, we started what got us started talking was a mutual annoyance for another person. And we just like from there we would have ended up being friends regardless because we had a lot of other things in common, but this is what got us talking to each other was this mutual annoyance.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was really funny when we were talking about something. I'm like, yeah, that's how my friendship started. Like, and she was my best friend in high school. Yeah. And you know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And even from then on, that was like our thing. Like we would just rag on people, things. Like we would sit during the winter concert and just make fun of the orchestra and the orchestra director.
You sound like a lovely person.
I was a very angry person in high school. I've changed.
Yes. Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah.
Honestly, anger and annoyances, like those things, we discuss it with passion, negative passion, because it is negative, because you kind of end up being quite toxic. Yeah. Because I was the same, and I keep doing that because that's how I am, and it doesn't matter really because it's usually some actor, some random people. I will never like go trash talk something someone I know personally because that would be weird. But like the sheer annoyance for something random, like I don't know, a post in social media, someone saying a dumb thing. Cyberpunk 2077, like you share an annoyance with people, and it makes you like it brings your passion out, and it's a bonding ground too.
And that's fair, you know, like you said, like it really goes back to gaming communities. You know, you really get behind it because you're passionate about it. Even at anger, you go and passionate about that. This is why
a bit too passionate, I would say.
A
bit too much
sometimes.
Sometimes.
They need to chill. They need to chill, man. Seriously.
I know. It's just like it's so rough out. Like even people who like Cyberpunk are getting trashed for liking it. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why? But yeah, and I think that's it. Is that there's this common ground with game communities, and you can even make friendships in the Life is Strange fans Discord channel, which I will link in the description down below. You can make friends there, but it doesn't mean that like, you know, you can't look past some things.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I've been in that Discord chat, and it very much feels like everybody in that Discord room is fantastic people. Not trying to say that. But within that friendship, it is more of a starting ground in that community rather than your ultimate guidance for friendship.
Yeah.
And I think gaming communities are good for that, to start that. And it can build into something, incredible. But, you got to look past it and, share that community. But at the same time, build a friendship with, real important values in life, So that's what I want to bring to, kind of concluding thoughts here as we kind of close out the show. And I do want to, ask, pretty much everybody at this table, but I definitely want to ask, Mai, this is that, in your opinion, especially talking about 2020 in communities, but let's not even talk about 2020. What are some of the best parts about video game communities, and what are some of the worst parts about video game communities? Mai, I want to bring it to you first. What do you think? The best and the worst parts?
The best, I think, it's, of course, mostly thanks to the internet. The fact that you can meet people all over the world with different cultures, different languages, and they have this common thing to discuss or talk about, or even share. Like, you can play games with someone in America right now, and Europe, China, I don't know, wherever you want. And keep in mind time zones, by the way.
Right.
But you can make friends with different cultures that live completely different lives from your own, and you learn a lot when you do, because your experience is unique, and you're sharing it with another person that has a completely different background. So your life is going to improve because of that. And whoever comes and tells me that internet friendships are not friendships, it's categorically wrong.
Right.
Yeah, you connect with people that with different backgrounds and stories, and you grow as a person because of that. You know more about the world that surrounds you. You're not in your own bubble, and that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
About the gaming community, I don't see, like, and now the internet provides the tool we need to pretty much build communities about anything, like cute dogs, and stuff. So I think it's more the internet than the game communities themselves, but games provide this place for them to gather. Like, let's play some Among Us, stuff like that. That they are made to have a common playground. You can have something you share in real time, and that's amazing. And the worst part, boy, do I even start?
Yeah, we got about 3 hours. I think you have time.
Yeah, I think I have time. Yeah. Like, this passion that we share, because we are passionate about something and we want to build stuff because we're passionate about it.
Yeah.
The same can be said about hating something and wanting to destroy it.
Yeah.
Passion can be, as I said before, positive or negative. And boy, it can be so toxic and draining. Like, why do people enjoy so much drama? Why people enjoy so much to destroying the other person, like, or the product or whatever? Like, this year in particular has been absolutely atrocious on that. I mean, it started kind of okay, and then suddenly we were in July, and The Last of Us 2 came out, and oh my god!
Yeah, even before it came out.
Even before with the leaks, like the amount of toxicity. And don't you dare say that it deserved winning the game award. Like, don't you dare saying it was a good game, that the narrative is fine and Abby is not trash. Like, you don't dare say that to me, because I will take it personally, and I don't know, I will spawn in your house and kill you, because that's how it became. Literally speaking, death threats, abuse, toxic communities just gathering to destroy the other community. Like it was total war. I'm like, what is happening? People need to find jobs and hobbies.
Yeah.
They need to actually like occupy their time with something productive, not just go out there, flamethrower in hand, ready to destroy the person that made the mistake of saying, hey, I like this online.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's the worst part of the gaming community is that they are so passionate that when that passion is not focused correctly, it can be really destructive and it's scary sometimes.
And that's just it. Is that like there's so many things about the gaming community that can become so toxic, and even to the point of not even hating on others, but hating on others for not understanding all of the lore of a video game. Oh, you don't know this because you didn't play from day one, or you don't know because you don't know the full history of the SNES. You don't know the actual RAM of what the SNES is. It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
The typical purist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on.
Just let them
Like-
join already, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you with the best parts. And even for me, the best parts of the gaming community was just something that's back in the day before gaming was cool. You know, it gave us people who were nerds, or even people, like me with who suffer from depression. It gave us something to actually communicate with other, nerds and people who are just like outcasts. It gave us something like, hey, wait, we're not the only ones here. That's awesome. Let's play some Ocarina of Time now, and it was a beautiful moment in that way. But like you said, the worst is just the toxic people. And I think the worst parts for me is the purists to say that, oh, you can't join this community. You can't join the Assassin's Creed community because blah, 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 blah. And just like, well, you can't join because you think Odyssey was the best one. That's where you lose me. But, but that's just it's like, if you don't think, Assassin's Creed 2 is the best one, then you can just shoot. But, just let people join the communities, whether they agree it's your favorite game or not. Liz, what do you think? Best parts, worst parts? Do you have thoughts?
I mean, best parts, I agree. I think the best part is the passion that people have when they're passionate about a game. It's like all the love they throw at that game.
Yes.
But then the worst part is also the passion, because there are people who are extremists, like just like you think, like when we talk about like political parties, you hear from the extremists the most. So in the video game communities, you're always going to hear about those extreme haters, where they're so passionate, they're just so angry that they give death threats to creators and actors and people who like it, and it's like, calm down.
Yes.
It's a game. Like, it's just a game.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect your life at all.
No.
So
Assassin's Creed does, but
no, it doesn't.
We can talk off camera.
But that's my thing. Like, it's like in every community, you have that group of people who just make it horrible, who just take it way too personal.
Yes.
Like the good side, like I said, is the passion, people's love for it, and they just want to talk about it, and they just want to talk about it all the time. But then you have the other side where they're just so passionate that they take it so personal. They make it everything their life is about in such a horrible way. Yeah. So I think the good and the bad are the same thing. Passion.
Yeah.
Just different types of passion.
Interesting. Yeah, I think we can even conclude our discussion with that, with the best and the worst parts. And I think from all of this, I think community is needed, to make people feel connected. I think community is definitely needed in that way. But where are you driving that passion? Are you looking to build, or are you looking to destroy? Whether people like Cyberpunk or hate it, it doesn't matter. Are you looking to build people up, or are you looking to destroy them? And you should really look in the mirror for that way. I will be looking in the mirror later on, and I will let you know my answer later on in the week. I'm looking to destroy. But that brings us to the end of our discussion. But before we go, we need to roll out the red carpet For Mai Queti. She's a star. She's a Hollywood star. She absolutely needs a star in the Hollywood block. It's just what's needed. Mai, where can we find you? What projects are you working on? Anything you would like to plug? Take it away, Mai.
All right. The website for Life is Strange fans has been rebuilt. So we have Life is Strange fans 2.0 that's going to be released soon, hopefully. And no live chat because we have Discord now, but it will work as an archive of content made by the community. So you can find their fan art, fan fiction, whatever this game has inspired people to create in an easy way. So you can find the creators, because usually you Google and you don't see who actually made this. And we are actually like taking care of credit the artist that provided us with such crazy pieces of creativity. So we want to keep it alive and we want to keep it accessible. So that's basically it. Life is Strange 2.0 will launch soon, hopefully, again. And we will have that archive of content for the community. And then, I don't know, follow me on Twitter. I cry over fictional characters. I talk about game development because I am a game developer. I talk about the industry, and I don't know, I just shitpost constantly. Follow me, I'm really funny.
I can attest to that, yes.
Yeah.
And I guess at some point I will go back to my personal projects that you can, of course, add the link if you want. That's Nitro Creative, and we are building a fantasy world setting completely from scratch, and hopefully we will be able to release content soon. So I guess that's it. That's me.
And of course, if you want to follow Mai and her projects, please look at the description down below. Whether you're on YouTube or if you're listening on audio, I will have it in the description down below. Please go give Mai an unreasonable amount of love, like just so much that it's like the Niagara Falls of love. That's all I need. Yeah,
just no gamer level passionate, please.
Not gamer level passion.
That's too much.
Like more like.
We already have a lot of that.
Yeah. More like sports fan passion. Wait, that's a little too much. More like political passion. Wait, no, not that.
You stop talking.
Okay.
Now.
But
you managed to actually make it worse. It's amazing.
I am a child, and these are facts.
And you're turning 30 in a couple weeks.
I'm turning 30 in a couple weeks. I'm a child still. Mai Queti, thanks again for coming on the show. Thanks again for agreeing to come on to this chaos. We really appreciate your words. Honestly, I love the way you talk about emotions, passion. It really comes from a heart and not from like a dictionary that's in front of your computer. It actually comes from your actual passion for emotion. So I appreciate you opening up on the show. Really, thank you.
Thank you, guys. It's always great to be here.
Anytime, honestly. You'll be banned for the next 5 years, but we'll work it out. So we'll work something out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Thanks again for listening to this week's Games and Groceries podcast. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, definitely, if you're watching us on YouTube, click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and be sure to leave a like and a share. Share it with your family, your friends, your enemies, whoever you want to. Be sure to be on the lookout for any news about the channel. It's going to be changing pretty soon. And with all that said and done, please wear your mask out there. Be safe out there, and have a good week.
Bye.